Good morning, kids. How are you today? In the last class, you have learned how to do subtractions of fractions. Subtractions of proper fractions. For today's class, you will learn how to recognize fractions of hundred and decimal. Okay, we take a look what is our learning objective for today. The learning objective for today's class is by the end of the lesson, most of the people will be able to state the fraction of hundreds. Okay, number 2, state 0.01 up to 0.99 in numerals and words. And then number 3, represent the decimal with 100 square grid and vice versa. And for your success criteria for today's class, okay, you will be able to match and write decimal in numerals and words. And then number 2, shade the squares according to the value of the decimal. Number 3, write decimal of shaded squares. And then number 4, color the decimal that match to the fraction. As I told you just now that for today's class you will learn how to recognize fraction of hundreds and decimal. Okay, look at this decimal table. It is 0.04. Okay, I want to remind you that the decimal is the number after the whole number, which is 1, the decimal going to the right. So the place value for the first decimal after the point is 10, followed by 100, and then 1000, and so on. Okay, back to this table. It is 0.04. So 4 out of 10. So we call this one as 400. 400 is 4 over 100. So in decimal it is 0.04, and then in words, if you write it in words, it is 0.04. Okay, look at the second one, 0.25. Okay, this 2 is 200. This one is 5. This 2 is 210. This 5 is 500. So in fraction, this one, it is 25 over 100. So in decimal, it is 0.25. How are we gonna write it in words? So 25 over 100, we call it as 25 hundredths. Okay, 25 hundredths. In decimal, it is 0.25. Okay, 0.25 in decimal. In fraction, we call it 2500. This is the next example. Okay, look at the picture. Okay, the girl say, "How beautiful! The kitchen tiles are so colorful." And then the boy said, "There are 100 tiles. 16 of the tiles are blue." So 16 of 100 is 1600. From what the boy said, 16 of 100 tiles are blue. So the blue tiles, from 100 tiles, we can say 16 of 100 is 1600. 1600 is written as 16 over 100. So this 16 over 100, we say it as 1600. Make sure when you write, you must put THS at the back of 100. That means it is a decimal number. So 16 over 100 in decimal is 0.16. This 0.16, when you write it in words, it is like this, 0.16. Our next picture again is shows a girl and a boy. A girl said 0.08. I color 8 of 100 squares. Okay, from this 100 square grid, this one is 100 square grid. Okay, 8 out of 100. So 8 out of 100. So 8 out of 100. When you write it in decimal is 0.08. And when you write it in fraction, it is 8 over 100. This one we call it as 800. 800 THS at the back. Okay. The boys, I color 23 of 100 square grid. So again, the boys also have 100 square grid here. He want to color 23 out of 100 square. So he colored all this one until 23. So 23 of 100 in decimal, in fraction is 23 over 100 or 2300. In decimal it is 0.23. The picture shows 100 square grid. This one 100 square grid. From the picture we can see that there is a red square and white square, and then the red square shows 44 of 100. So in fraction this one is 44 over 100, or we call it 4400. So this 4400 is equal to 0.44. Okay, that one is for red square. What are the decimal and hundredths fraction of white square? Now, out of 100, 44 are red, meaning to say 100 minus 44, it is 56. So the white square is 56 over 100, or 5600. 5600, if we want to change it to decimal, it is 0.56. So the red square is 44 over 100, or 4400. The white square is 50 over 100, or 5600. Now let's try this question. Match the correct cards to the numeral cards and read them out. Okay, words, and then read them out. Okay, 0.18. So 0.18. Now we want to match to the correct answer. It is this one. Okay, 900. 900 usually in decimal. So this one is 9 over 100. It is 900. Okay. Now let's try the second question. Okay, the second question say color the decimal parts and fraction on 100 square grid. So the question asks you to make 100 square grid. So 3 over 100, or 300, is equal to 0.03. So to make 100 square grid, it is like this. So you have to shade 3 out of 100. So the answer is like this. And then for B, 2400, or 24 over 100, is equal to 0.24. So from 100 you have to color 24, from 100 you have to color 24 of it. So the answer is exactly like this. Now kids, as for today's class, you have learned how to state the fractions of 100. Okay, and then number 2, you also have learned how to set 0.01 up to 0.99 in numerals and words. And then number 3, you also have learned to represent the decimals with 100 square grid and vice versa. Okay, I hope you understand about this topic, and I think that's all for today, and I hope I will see you again in the next class. See you and bye bye.